return everything? Come on, everybody here know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't remember that.
I heard you tell your age already, so don't you try it. Even though you don't
Did
look
you
it.
hear that?
Even though you don't look it.
I don't remember that.
Here we go. We're core financial partners. I'm going to go back to the core financial partners makes your goals our crusade. Our mission is to help our clients and people, as many people as possible, to go from survival to security to success to significance. How do you help somebody go from survival to security? First, survival is living paycheck to paycheck. Security is having 6 months of your expenses put away and liquid to you. Most people don't have liquid money available. They have it in 401ks and places they gotta now clear, to the, from whoever overseeing it. And then success is having assets that gives you cash flow independence. That means your assets can make you take care of your lifestyle without you having to go work for it any longer. Passive and residual income, right? And then last but not least is significance. When that is happening, it frees up your time to help out other people, and you're in a position now to leave a legacy. Whether that's your blood family or your community, whatever that might be to you, right? So that's what our goal is, and that's what our crusade is with all of our clients. So our philosophy, core financial philosophy, is that more money doesn't get you or keep you out of a financial situation. Only financial education does. That's the quote that changed my life out of that book I told you I read in 2007. It changed my life because I was like, wow, all the money that I was fortunate enough to have made in a 7-year period. I was almost at a point making more in a month than I was making in a whole year. But at the end of all of that, when I was ready to make another move in the business world, I had not much to show for it. I raised my wife and I raised 5 kids, right? And it just, as fast as we got it, as fast as we spent it, right? And I noticed around, I had a lot of colleagues, and Mr. Jarman can contest this, that was making as much or more than I was, and we all was in the same position. So I realized we can make all the money we want, but if we don't understand money, those that do know how to get it. You with me? So that's why we pride ourselves on financial education. That's what Core Financial Partners does. So the 3 types of education that's available, but only 2 that's really given to us. The first one is academic education, reading, writing, and arithmetic. The second one is professional education. How do we make our money, right? We can go to school to do this, that, and the other, right? But the education that's nowhere in the school system, you can't even pay for it if you wanted to, is financial education. Because if you go pay for it, you know what they're going to tell you? How to give your money to me, right? That's what they're going to tell you. That's what they're going to tell you. They teach people to go to these Cornell and places like that. They're either teaching you to take other people's money or they're teaching you how to give them their money. That's what they're teaching them. Okay? So we're here to make a difference in this process. So the 3 types of money that's important to understand. Let's go with that real quick. First type is lifestyle money. We all know what lifestyle money is, right? Everything it takes to run your life. The food, the shelter, the transportation, the education, the vacations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So what about the second type? The second type is accumulated money. That's the money it takes for us, we put to the side for savings and investing, right?
Right.
And to me, the traditional way of doing both of them is a flaw. With investments, it's like the person that's giving you the advice, right? The traditional, quote unquote, financial advisor or financial planner, they're taking 100% of your money, you're taking 100% of the risk, but who's the only one in that relationship is guaranteed to make money?
Yeah.
They are. No question about it. They guaranteed to make money. When the stock market crashed in 2008, they still was on their yachts. While most people, over 8 million people lost their jobs and 6 million people lost their homes. That's the issue to me. That's kind of that's the passion started stirring up in me about making sure we don't let this happen again, because it's about to happen again. We're 1 to 2 years away from the same thing happening in 2008.
Another crash.
Yep. So what do we change? What would you pride ourselves in? The difference with Core Financial Partners, what makes us different than 98% of what's out there being shared in financial from the financial advisors and financial and financial planners, is that we focus on the third type of money, which is never ever shared, which is transferred money. That's the money we're losing unknowingly, unnecessarily. in the form of fees, taxes, interest, etc., etc., etc. It's a laundry list of different ways people have money that they're losing. Because all the money that we're not accumulating, we're either living it in our lifestyle or we're giving it away unknowingly, unnecessarily, and it's killing our wealth. You ever heard somebody say, I'm working hard, but I still am broke? Been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's because if we don't understand money, it escapes us. It escapes us. I share this, and I share this real quick. And this is a whole nother talk. Think about when we watch TV. TV is set up to get our money. Do we know that? The programming is just to catch us and get us in front of the TV. Every commercial is about us giving our money to whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you know what they do these commercials on? On the average person. They do it on what we call, when I do a talk on common, uncommon knowledge, common knowledge is what they show on these TV shows. They want the average person that has a traditional corporate job or 9-to-5 job to see this, to give their money to them. Uncommon information is where the wealthy get their information. And that's how they have a whole set of different rules on what to do with their money. It has nothing to do with 401k, IRAs, Roths, mutual fund. It has nothing to do with it. Wealthy people wouldn't dare put their money in that position because it's modern day gambling. Right? So that's a leap by itself that I kind of gave you a bonus on before I go, because I'm not going to talk much about that today. Okay? So transfer money. So let's look at what our personal economy looks like. If this is your income coming through a bucket, and this hole's at the bottom of the bucket as big as your fist, how well are you recouping or keeping your money? Is that bucket ever going to fill up if it's holes at the bottom like that?
No.
Tamika, you can double and triple your income, but if it's holes still at the bottom and that's not being addressed, what happens to your money? It goes away from you. You with me? It goes away from us. Even if I can show somebody that makes a third of somebody making, like somebody could be making $50,000 versus somebody making $200,000 a year, and the person with $50,000 got their holes plugged in like this right here. They don't have any holes, right? Versus somebody that makes $200,000, they have holes. In 20, 30 years, who do you think is going to be better off? No doubt about it. No, Rocket Ishmael, guys, right? That follow football. In 1992, got the biggest and largest contract ever that was given to a NFL player. He got the largest one that started off those millions of dollars. He got $14 million for 4 years. By 1998, he filed for bankruptcy. Compared to a person that I was reading about that didn't make more than $20,000 in a year for like a 20-year period, and end up his net worth was $7 million. Because he realized how to avoid the leaks in his personal economy, right? So this is what happens at the end of the road when people finish all their working years. How would it feel to make $1 million and only find out you lost $1 million along the way? Most people retire not having enough to live to their life expectancy. See, the government tells us to retire at 65. You know, people are living in mid-80s to 90 now?
Yeah.
When they came up with that rule, people was only living in 72. Now people are living in 85. Matter of fact, the largest growing population in the world is 90 and above. 90 and above. Right? But people are retiring at 65 with whatever they got. Because people are retiring based off age, not in accumulation. Or not cash flow that's coming in. I don't even believe in accumulation no more. And my clients know, once I show them how to retire properly. If you retire off of accumulation, that means you wait till you get this amount. You know what most people don't account for? They don't account for the taxes that's going to come out at the end of when they're ready to withdraw, and they don't account for the inflation that their money's going to deplete in. Just those two, you done lost 2/3 of the money you think you got. Okay? So we account for all that. And I have software that shows our clients how we can do that. So what is wealth transfers? Let's define that again. It's money you are unknowingly and unnecessarily transferring away from yourself. Wealth can be created by controlling and minimizing your capital transfers. Okay? So that's pretty much what wealth transfers are. That's the thing. We focus on core financial partners that's totally the opposite of 98% of the people that's in the financial service industry. All right? This is what we believe. There's more to be gained from by finding the losses than it is finding winning investments. And they said it in the video. Notice what they said in the video. What good is it to get a gain of 4 to 6% on your investment account, but yet you're paying 10 to 20% on your debt, and that's for most Americans. This is what their portfolio says: 4 to 6% returns, but they're paying out an interest anywhere from in one deal somewhere between 8 and like 24%. You're losing. Your money's losing money when you're doing it that way. But we put a blind spot to the debt, and you're losing. And that's where we help them out. So here's the 5 major wealth transfer. These are the 5. I can show you two dozen of them or more, but these are the first 5 I address with anybody I sit down with. The first one is taxes, all kinds of taxes. Sometimes we don't realize how much we're paying in taxes. We have an accountant here, so she knows, right? I believe everybody should have a home-based business because it's deductions that they almost give it to you. Just find something you're passionate about and do it, along with what you do already, right? Right? Is that right, Tamika?
Yeah.
Mortgages, right? Mortgages is a huge wealth transfer. You know why? People pay their house off the wrong way, especially if they have extra money. And I showed them that's not a good thing you're doing. Trying to put extra money towards your mortgage to pay it off quicker. I'll show you why. I do nothing by theory. I have calculators and software that show you that you're better off keeping your money versus giving it to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And then qualified plans. Oh, that's all I got to do is say the government oversees it. That's all I need to say. If you know anything about how the government works, we all know this, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, no. When I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I got deprogram people that have 401ks, right? Or really just educate them what the truth is about 401ks, because they're not thinking about all the stuff that's happening. You normally walk away with one third of what you had 3/3 of, but you don't understand what they're doing while you're putting your money in these accounts. So we go over that. And then college funding. College funding is another huge wealth transfer because, once again, most people have a 529 plan. They don't know too many other ways to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And 529 plan is just like a qualified plan. The government oversees that.
Right.
Anything the government oversees, you gotta really look deep into it, right? In qualified plans, we show them another option where they have control, liquidity, and use of their money. Because you can't touch that money when you put it in a 529 plan. And then if your kid don't go to college, you still got a lot of stimulations.
That's crazy.
Right? And then major capital transfers, major capital purchases, and you see all the listing there. We spend a lot of money on these things. And then there could be a wealth transfer that could be avoided just by understanding a little bit more about how money works. So the first thing I want to go over is opportunity cost. If you saw the different things we had at the bottom of the bucket, we had interest, taxes, and opportunity cost in debt. We saw that, right? What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is only being shared with people that go to corporate finance classes, right? It's brushed over when you go to economic classes in college or even high school. I don't know if they have it in high school, but in college they have economic classes. But they brush it over. They don't teach you how it affects you in your personal life. They just teach you how the business world uses it. So let me show you how it works, and then I'll show you how we use it with our personal lives as well. Because it's to me, out of everything I share today, we have to walk away in understanding this. So we're thinking a layer deeper about our money. Okay? Y'all promise me? Okay. There's 2 types of costs when we purchasing or using money for anything. One is accounting costs, and the other is opportunity costs. We only are accustomed to accounting costs. Accounting costs, what am I exchanging my money for? If I feel like it's worth it, here's my money, right? That's accounting costs. So opportunity costs, we never consider that, right? That's not what we've been sharing, right? So here it is. Opportunity cost is the potential future value of your spent dollars. What your money could have earned you in interest had you invested it instead of spending it. Spent dollars are going forever. Once we release that money from our hands or from our accounts, it's gone. It does not have no more power to make us money, right? Wealthy people, corporations, and banks understand this. because of that, they look at the opportunity cost on everything they have to do. If Wells Fargo's want to open up another bank, they look at the opportunity cost of them doing it or doing it another way. Okay, so here we go. Here's an example of $10,000. Let's say we had $10,000. We can say, look, we can buy a new car, we can invest it into a new business, we can do whatever we want to do with it. But let's look at the value of it before we do that. What it would be worth at 6% rate of return in 30 years from now? $10,000 will be $50,226 without doing anything with it, but leaving it in that vehicle that's yielding you 6%. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what they look at. Now, is what I'm going to do going to yield me that much? Or allow this to create itself more money like that? Right? So the other question people ask, how do I do the thing that I was going to do with my 10 without using my 10 so my money won't lose opportunity costs? Because if it's not gaining opportunity costs, it's called lost opportunity costs. If somebody says, here's my $10,000, give me that car, you don't lost opportunity costs on your money. Right? Mm-hmm. And what happens to a car in 3 to 4 years?
It depreciates as soon as you drive off the property.
You take it back.
It could be a brand new, spanking brand new car that has no mileage on it, and the moment you drive off that parking lot, it's depreciated 25 to 30%.
Right.
So do you think wealthy people really buy new cars?
No.
Or do they find a way?
They find a
They
way.
find a way. And Tamika's going to help us out with that. How to have a corporation and have it as a deduction. Right, Tamika?
That's right.
So remember that opportunity cost, y'all, is the centerpiece to every decision we go forward with our clients. It's the center of everything. Okay? This is how money works, y'all. This is how it grows. It's important for all of us to know the rule of 72, and it's embedded in our brain. You don't have to go say, what was the rule of 72? Opportunity cost of rule of 72 has to be right there whenever you're talking to somebody, or whenever you're making a financial decision. The rule of 72 is just telling you how long it takes money to compound. You ever wonder how our money grows in a savings account or an investment account? This is how it grows, right? 72 divided into any assumed rate of interest, it tells you how long it takes your money to double. So 72 divided into 8, so that 8% rate of return you're getting, it takes 9 years for any amount of money to double. So if you had $2,000, it will be $4,000 in 9 years. If you had $20,000, it would be $40,000 in 9 years. If you had $1 million, it would be $2 million in 9 years. It's just that simple. Just that simple. So what do people that understand rate of returns do? They chase rate of returns. They'd rather have a higher rate than a lower rate, right? Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, what do they put their money at risk? What kind of? Well, I just gave it. They put their money at risk. The higher rate of return you're getting, especially on Wall Street, the bigger risk you're taking. Okay. Anybody here like gambling? Because that's what you're doing. When Wall Street crashed in 2008, everybody that was about to retire within 2 years had to work at least another 7 to make up for what they lost. Talk to anybody. I don't think anybody here knows this one young lady that was working with me at that time. We had started a business venture, and every penny she was making, and this was a second business for her. She had a regular job, and she had this business. Every penny was there to make up for all the money she lost on Wall Street when 2008 happened. Every penny, and then she showed me every dime for some months went straight to an account that she was trying to build back up. And that's what most people have to do.
Yeah, my father lost over $100,000.
Yeah.
in that.
Absolutely.
In a year, when that stock market crashed back in 2009,
so
$100,000.
Oh, before that, I'm giving away again. I gotta ask a question.
Retirement,
right now, anybody can tell me what the banks are giving you in a return on a traditional savings account, regular savings account.
Like 0.2?
0.1, 0.01, 0.0.
Now, I did my research. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He went to.
If you go to the regular bank and you got much money to put into it, right? Like Bank of America, you're getting 0.01. If you got 2,500, they're going to give you 0.02. If you got 10,000, they're going to give you like 0.05, right? And the most you can get, even if you have $1 million, is 0.15. You know, 0.15 is still not even past, like, it's not even 1%. It's not even a half of 1% yet. Is that crazy or what? This is Bank of America.
It's crazy.
I ain't trying to call them out, but they're part, right?
Oh my god.
Look here, 0.01. How long does that take to double? I had to really
7,200
figure
years.
this out. 7,200 years. Wait, is that crazy or what?
That's not
That's
nice.
unbelievable.
Look at 0.02. 3,600 years.
And yes, to see where you got your money at.
Your kids might not even see that money grow,
7,200.
right? And look all the way down. Even the 0.20, right, which no one is giving that amount. I'm telling you, the most I saw was 0.15, even if you got $1 million in a savings account. 360 years. Come on, it's crazy. But do you know they're holding trillions of dollars a day?
Oh yeah.
Now, who knows that they're not getting return of that amount? They get returns more of like 8 to 20%.
Guaranteed.
So it's just, it makes me mad, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, let's look at higher interest rate. Let's look at something more in our range that we want to look for, right? Let's look at 4%. That takes 18 years. That's more reasonable, right? 6%, 12. Y'all see that? Right? The magic compound interest. You know who created this formula? Albert Einstein. The person that's supposed to be the smartest person ever lived. He created a lot of stuff that we use today. He said this is his greatest accomplishment. That's why they call it the eighth one of the world, compound interest. And the rule of 72 tell you how it compounds. But let me show you if somebody invested $1,000 one time and forgot about it. Maybe it was a tax return or whatever it might be. If they are getting 4% and they're 29 years old and they put that $1,000 away, 4% doubles how often, y'all?
18.
Every 18 years. So from 29 to 83, it would have doubled 3 times. And they would have ended up with how much, y'all? $8,000. That's $1,000 invested one time. What if it was 6%? 6% gives you a little bit faster return, doubling up, right? So it doubles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doubles 5 times. 2 more times. Did I see that right there at the end? Because it's still 8%. I mean 8,000 right here, but it doubled 2 more times, and they end up with 32,000, with only 2 more cent in rate of return. Look at 8%. 7 times. 64,000. Even though the interest rate went from 4 to 8, it only doubled. But because the simple math of it doubling every 9 years, it gets a chance to double within that same time period faster, and it 8 times the 8,000. 8 times it, with only doubling the amount of interest.
Wow.
One thing I know for sure, those who understand interest earn it, and those who don't, they pay it. Because this even works on how we pay interest on debt, right? Let's look at the last one. And trust me, this is where the banks play around, this amount right here, 12%. How much is that you earn in the same time period with the same $1,000 you invested one time?
$500,000.
$500,000, y'all. The same $1,000, forgot about it. One time.
Every 6 years. Every 6 years,
Every 6
that's
years it
doubling
doubles.
there. Okay. Wow.
So this where people, that are looking to invest money and they really like strong about it, and they looking on the market for ways to and put money into, they looking for that type of, anywhere between 8 and 12 is what they look for. But in the meantime, what are they doing with that money?
Bank.
No, they put it at risk. They put it at risk. The higher returns, the more risk your money's at.
Yeah.
They don't know there's other ways to grow your money without doing that. Right? Remember, you're better off finding unknowingly unnecessary losses than it is winning investment. That's a winning investment. Anywhere over 6 is a winning investment to the traditional market. But most people don't know there's other options that I'm about to share with y'all. Okay? Interest. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. This is what's happening with most people's personal economy in our country. 34.5% of every dollar they earn is going towards interest payments, finance costs. So if somebody makes $100,000, that's over $34,000 of that money is going towards interest costs. That's not even including taxes yet that they're going to be paying. Right? And it shows the breakdown.
What's 25?
25% that's how much is going towards interest, because remember, and you're in real estate, you can attest to this. when you buy a house, the first 5 years, 83% of it's going towards interest, not principal. Right? Think about it. When somebody buy a house and you look at their amortization schedule, and let's say they're spending $1,000 a month to pay their mortgage, at least $800 to $900 of it is going towards interest costs. The principal don't start getting paid off bigger until like 10 years later.
Yeah, back in.
It's not moving. So that's why we help people understand that. So now you got to know, if you understand the money game, you know how to win. You learn how to play, you learn how to win, right? It says there, the saving rate in America averages, it's not even 10%. It's nowhere near that. Matter of fact, it's average about 2 to 3% right now.
Wow.
Right? So this is how we fix this problem. Somebody's, I hear somebody. Oh, that's a win. Okay. So let's look at credit card debt, because that's a part of it, right? That's a part of it. Let's say somebody have $10,000 credit card debt. And the thing about that is the average household holds about $15,000 in credit card debt. That's the average household.
Wow.
Right? But the thing about that is right there, the third line says 5%. That 5%, if they didn't pay the banks their interest costs, would that money would have earned them at 5%? Because interest is money you didn't have to do. You could have got another way of getting the thing that you wanted
without using
paying
credit card.
the principal and the interest to the bank, right?
Correct.
So this right here is the 5% that interest cost could have earned you if you put that money and paid it to yourself versus to the bank. Is that everybody follow that? So let's look at that.
Wow.
The first one is the first year, the $10,000 balance, you're gonna pay $1,900 just on the $10,000 balance in interest costs. Share with me, what happens when most people bring their debt down, like they pay their credit card balance down? What normally happens after they pay it down? They happy about it.
Run it back up.
They go build it right back up.
It's crazy.
It's a lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Good shit. Okay.
Right? It's not all their fault. It's the media. It's the social proof of everybody else doing that. This is how we get stuff, right? But let's look at 20 years in, they almost 40,000 in interest costs, and 40 years in, almost 80,000, because it's revolving. This is not even touching principal yet. Because what do most people do when they pay their credit cards down?
Pay minimum balance.
They pay the minimum. They want you to take 20 years to pay $10,000 off. Because they make, just like the mortgages are making a lot of interest costs, that's how they make their money. Right? Look what, if you had kept your money from the banker and kept it yourself, started paying them interest costs, you'd have got that thing without financing it, and you kept the interest to your bank. In 20 years, you would have had $65,000. In 40 years, $238,000 would have been the growth of your money from you putting in $78,000 in your bank versus giving it to the bank. And that's only growing at 5%. But look at the equation. Somebody's making 18% off this money. Who's making 18% off this money, y'all?
The bank.
The banks are. The banks are. The credit card company, right? They're the banks, right?
Man.
Look what they make off of us paying this interest. In 20 years, they make $355,000. In 40 years, how much is that, Tamika?
Is that's one.
$13 million. And this is one household
Wow.
at a conservative number, generous number.
Oh, goodness. So you're saying
That's crazy.
that I could be paying this to myself?
Yes, I'm gonna show you how to. Yep. It's still getting the same stuff you using with a credit card.
Yeah.
I see it, Tamika. I see it in you. You're about to be mad like me. Right? About to see what, and that's the rule of 72 that proves those numbers. Once again, I have software and calculators for everything. Right? So numbers, right? Exactly.
I got tears
So
in my eyes.
So think about this, y'all. How would your savings change if you could recapture the money you're being thrown away in interest costs? Remember, 34.5% of every dollar in most households is going towards interest costs, which is financing, right? We work on reversing that back to our clients. Even if we did half of it. Because the average savings rate is 2 to 3%. let's look at this is the most powerful slide right here, y'all. And I broke it down a little bit more in depth so you can understand it. Once we find the money, right? How does that make a difference in your life, right? If we recapture some interest costs and money leaking out the bucket going to Uncle Sam or whoever, how does that make a difference in your life? Let's show you right here. Let's say a household's bringing in $80,000 a year, or individual, and they're saving $6,000 of that. That's about $500 monthly savings that person is doing, right? They're getting 6% rate of return on their money, and that gives them, without compounding, $360. But look at there, that lifestyle money left over from the 6 leaves $74,000. Remember 3 types of money, right? The first one was lifestyle, the second was accumulation, and the third one was what?
Transfer money.
So far, we've gone through the accumulated money, and this is the lifestyle money. We didn't talk about transfer money yet. Everybody has it. I've never sat down with somebody that didn't have it. So here we go. Let's say core financial partners sit down with this particular person, or individual, or company, or investor, and we found 1% of the lifestyle money of $74,000. That's only $740 for the whole year. 1%. But watch the difference it makes, because normally we find 3 to 6% for the whole year. This is very conservative and generous. $740 from $74,000 is all we found for the whole year. Money they're giving to somebody, and we showed them how you can keep it, right? The only thing I make sure I qualify, right, Kelly, is that if we find it, will you save it? Because if you add it to your lifestyle, it's like we never found it. It's a waste of my time and yours, right? So here we go. We find the money, it's equivalent to you gaining your own rate of return of 12.33% on top of the 6%.
18%.
18%. We walk to with the banks make on 18%. You just saw that, right, Tamika? I just showed you how to do it without being on Wall Street. Because the same money is being given to you, get back to you. We show you how to get a 6% return on your money, on the average 4 to 6%, and you add the money we found to your savings, not your lifestyle. You got to save it for this to work, and it's equivalent to you getting what the returns the banks get on them on our money, and you still have the lifestyle and get the things that you was getting with the credit card or whatever else you were doing, whatever we found the money. Here's the math right here. I tell people it's not magic, it's math. Here's the math. 6% of 6,000 is 360, as you saw there, right? Then 12.33% of 6,000 is 740. If we add those two together, 360 plus 740, which is 6% plus 12.33, is 18.33%. Once again, it's math, not magic. When I saw this, it blew, my brain almost exploded. I sat down with CPAs, I sat down with attorneys, I sat down with many people that did not know this math. Never would share this with them. They never looked at money like this. But I promise you, the people that is getting our money understand this math. The banks understand this math. Right? So, once again, this is conservative. 1% is really lowballing it. It's normally on the average 3 to 6% we're finding. Okay? So let's look at how do we get the stuff that we want and what options do we have. Let me show you how to gain your major capital purchases in your life. The cars, the vacations, the business, the investments, right? How do you get those things, right? What's the best way to do it? Here are 3 different ways of the money personalities on how they approach getting major capital purchases better in their life. A major capital purchase, let me qualify what that is. That's something that you cannot pay for with your monthly income. Like when we go on vacation, especially a nice vacation, we can't just look at our monthly income after all expenses being paid and say, off this check I got or 2 checks I got, I can go on a great vacation. Or you can't buy a car off of your 2 checks that month. If you get paid weekly, if you can't buy it off of money left over after all the expenses paid, that's a major capital purchase. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
Now let's look at the different options on that. The first type of money personality is a debtor. How do they get their major capital purchases met? They work to spend, they don't save money, much money, they earn no interest, and they pay interest for everything, all finance costs, because they finance everything. They borrow from and make payments to lend it at the highest market rates. They use future earning potential as collateral. That's the debtor, right? That was me at one time. I didn't know much of a different way, right? Here's the saver. The saver is a person that says, I don't want to owe anybody anything but to love them, right? A lot of times your parents taught them that.
Yeah.
Like, don't finance anything. Don't use credit cards. They normally was taught that way, right? This is how savers look at things. They save to avoid paying interest. They earn interest and they pay cash for everything. The most they probably do is a house. They might finance a house, but they're gonna try to put down as much as they can, right? They borrow from self, reducing collateral position and reset the compounding of their money, right? And they make payments to self, and that gives up the interest that money could have earned them, right? You finance everything you buy. You either finance it and pay interest to somebody else, or you use your own cash, and now you gave up interest opportunity costs. Either way, it comes out to be almost the same thing. But savers that pay cash for stuff don't realize this math. Then you have the wealth creator. The wealth creator, they save and they use OPM. You know what OPM stand for?
Other people's money.
So you tell me something. Anybody like 35 or under don't understand OPM. I ask them that, they don't know what it is, right? I said, you telling on yourself,
Well, I
right?
learned that from real estate investing.
Okay, there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. The woman that saw
OPP?
Yeah, exactly. What do wealth creators do? They earn a compounding interest and they collateralize all their purchases. They borrow from lender at negotiated rates using own money and money as they use their own money as collateral, and money continues to earn uninterrupted compounding in their accounts. They don't have lost opportunity costs. They have opportunity costs on their money because they never want to interrupt the compounding. And they make unstructured, flexible payments to lender, maximize the benefits of a private family bank. Private family bank versus the traditional banks. That's what makes the biggest difference. So let's look at the debtor. What's the problem with being a debtor? Obligation on their future earnings. Their money spent before they get it. The lender already know how much you made and you can afford paying them back. Otherwise, they won't give you a loan. That's why they go through your financials, right? Lose capital to purchases and finance costs forever, interest costs. And they're a slave to the lender and lose loss of control, right? This is what a debtor look from a graph standpoint. Here's the debtor right here needing or wanting or desiring something. They did not save the money to buy it, right? So what they're going to do is go finance it, right? And get themselves into debt. And then the amortization schedule is there to pay it back down to zero. Y'all see that? And once they pay it down, what they do now? They do it again and again. Every 4 to 6 years is a car. Maybe every other year or every year is vacation, holidays. We finance everything. And when we do that, at the end of the working years, all the way in, because the line, this black line is the zero line. They just paid themselves back to zero. A lot of money went out, but nothing was kept. And the banks are smiling their way to wealth, right?
Wow.
Consumer debt is an inefficient purchasing strategy. This is initial purchase is lost as well as the interest owed, causing further loss that can compound and spiral out of control. Let's look at the saver. What's the problem with paying cash, right? First problem is you got to first save it. That's not a problem. I take that back. Because saving is the first principle to building wealth, right? So you got to save a portion of what you earn, right? The problem is Uncle Sam won his piece. Uncle Sam gets you when you earn, and he gets you when you save or invest. Then he get us, guess what, y'all? When we then take those savings and withdraw, and then he get us when we die with estate taxes. Uncle Sam's gonna get his. And that's why we have to learn how to avoid him, not evade him. Because evasion, what happened with evasion, Tamika? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Right?
You fell hunching.
But we teach people how to avoid it, though. There's a way to avoid it,
That's what I.
right? You must drain your savings tank to make your purchase. So they lose the money, the interest, their money was growing. This is the saver. They got the money over here. I mean, they got the thing they want over here. They have what we call delayed gratification. They're going to save their own money up to the hilltop. And then they spend it down to buy that car, go on vacation, or to pay for college, whatever it might be. And they do that year in and year out, year in and year. And at the end of that working years, the zero line is where they back at. because in the vein of avoiding interest, they gave up interest that money was earning them. Once they take it out of the account, it's no longer, that's lost opportunity cost on every dollar that they took out that account. Okay? So, you lose the interest you could have earned had you not drained your savings tank. This is what's meant by opportunity cost. Let's look at the wealth creator. The wealth creator maintains liquidity, use, and control of their money. Most Americans borrow because they have to. Wealth creators borrow because they want to. They don't have to, but because they want to. And the reason why is because of that graph right there. What it says right there? Compound interest earns them more than the amortization interest costs them. That is the principle of leverage, because it's called economic value added. And all businesses that are real strong accounting wise understand this. That means if I give you my money, this green line goes back down. That's what the saver did, right? This green line goes back down if I give you my money. But if I use somebody else's money and they say, here, this is the interest rate I'm charging you, and that interest rate that money's going by exceeds the cost of the interest they got to pay back, they win every single time. Every single time. Okay. That's becoming your own banker. Understanding that and positioning your money to never lose the opportunity cost on your money. And that's what we share and go over with our clients. Anyone can become a wealth creator once they gain the right philosophy and strategy, then take the steps to do so. This is it. This is one of my favorite slides as well, because this brings it home. The wealth creator, remember, that's the wealth creator. This is the person that's saving and taking their money out and putting it back right there, right? They both save $5,000 a year for 30 years. They don't miss a year saving $5,000 a year. But the saver was taking their money out to do major capital purchase like a car every 5 years, and they put the money back in 4. Y'all see that? At the end of the 30 years, the wealth creator has how much? Sante, how much is that? $353,000. And how much does the saver have, Tamika?
Negative 200.
No, they have this right here. I'm sorry. 71. That's how much they have. That's them right there. They got some money, but they don't have nowhere near what the wealth creator. They both saved $5,000 a year for 30 years. But the result came out different, and the difference was $282,000 based off of information and education on how money works, period. And this is most Americans right here. Core Financial Partners is trying to make everybody, personal economy looks like that. They look like that. This is the cost what's happening to everybody. And while most people don't know what happened to their money when they stop working. Because both of them got cars. But look at their accounts. That's huge. And that's only off one person's cars. That's not talking about the spouse car. That's not talking about them paying for all the other stuff that they got to go through life with. Let's look at the different ways to buy cars and how most Americans buy cars. This example is going to give you 5 different options on how to finance cars. Right? Let's say this person starts at 21 years old, very young. And they buy the car every 40 years. The average person buys a car every 4 to 6 years, right? The car has an expiration date. And they're going to spend $10,000 for each car over 44 years. So that's from 21 to 65. From 21 to 65, that's 44 years. And they bought 11 cars if they bought one every 4 years. Everybody follow me so far? Yep. Okay, good. The first way they can be purchasing those 11 cars for $10,500 is they can lease them. What happens at the end of a lease when you're done leasing?
Turn it
Turn the car back in, right? So you don't even own it, right? Financing. A huge portion of our society finance their vehicles from a bank or a dealership. $137,000 is what they would spend for 11 vehicles that cost $10,500. They're a little bit more efficient with their purchasing their cars. Y'all see that with their money, right? What about the third way?
Cash method.
Cash method. They would save some money, right?
Wow.
Cash method, right? So the cash method, they didn't have no finance costs at all, so that's why they came out better. But what do you know is different about the fourth way?
It's a plus. It's green and it's not minus anything. 258, 927.
Wow.
So
Exactly.
yeah. What's CD method?
CD method.
Randy been doing this consistently for the last 5-6 years. One person out of all the people I ever sat down with, hundreds, if not in the thousands, that I've sat down with, or did a reception or a workshop or conference with. Only one that I know of that was using that CD method way. One. Because at the end of all those cars, they end up with over $250,000 in their account. Only one. That's one. That's better than the amount of how many that knows the way that we share and teach. What do you see different about that way?
I like that one.
It's a significant difference there.
964.
It's a huge difference. And that fourth way is the way core financial partners share the concept and help line our clients up with their car purchases going forward. So let's look at the two differences so you know the difference in the two. So you're going to spot when somebody trying to share one of the other 4 ways. The first 3 ways is so funny. Over 93% of Americans use the first 3 ways. And guess what? Which one is up the most in the last 5 years? Leasing is up 35% in the last 5 years.
It is.
Why?
Because they commercials.
Yep.
Come and get it. Come get your dream vehicle for $300 a month.
Leasing is like you can't really drive. Well, I'm a realtor, so you can't really drive it that much. Like I can't have anybody telling me how much I'm gonna drive my car. Like that.
Because you only can put so many miles on it.
Yeah.
There's so many flaws to it.
Yeah,
But you got your car.
15,000.
You got your car,
Up to
right?
15,000.
Yeah, so here we go. Let's look at the difference between a CD method and a private family banking method. Sister A and Sister B. You notice they're twins, right? Sister A is going to do the CD method, and Sister B is going to do the private family banking method. Sister A says, look, I'm going to start saving a little over $100 a week, which is very modest, right? She's making probably around $50,000 a year, right? $100 a week adds up to $5,000 a year. When you, exactly, it's $416 though, a month. $5,000 a year. She does, right? So far, Sister B is done the exact same thing. Sister A looks at her accounting and says, look, my bank gave me CD interest money, right? They added money to my account. So she ends up with $41,000. Sister B, though, looked at her account and seen that it's not as much as Sister A's, but she's happy. She understands the process, right? Follow the process, right? Trust the process. That's what it is with the Sixers. However, though, she also understands it's a cost to start a bank. You ever heard it's a cost to be the boss? Right? So let's go further through what happened here. Sister A buys her first vehicle at 10.5. She says, look, I'm going to do what most people would not do. And that is, I am not going to act like I'm free and clear of a car note. I am going to finance this through my own account, and I'm going to pay myself back like I would have paid the bank back. So she pulls out her calculator and split it up in 4 years, which is 48-month payment amortization schedule. Plus, she added 10% interest to pay herself like she would have gave the bank. All that added up to $252 a month. And let's go back here a little bit. This is very, I want to make sure you understand this. Remember she was saving $416 a month? She's done ever putting money in this account. So now she's used to putting that money in. She got the money, the $252 to put in there. Y'all follow me so far?
Right.
She does that with every 4 years for every car. So far, Sister B has done the exact same thing. Everybody follow me, right? So let's look at after 11 vehicles was bought. She's now looking at her accounting. She's purchased 11 vehicles. It came up to 116. Her interest that she earned from that is 141. Remember, the CD paid her interest, plus she was paying herself back 10% interest, right?
Wow.
So that's why her account was $258,000. Let's look over here. She did the same thing, but the cost of her purchases was 116, similar to Sister A's, same as Sister A's. But, however, $847,000 is what was earned in interest in her account. And she ended up with $964,000. Let's look at the difference here. Sister A was able to pull out $50,000 a year. That was her custom lifestyle, $50,000 a year. But she went broke after 5 years. She ran out of money. You ever heard of that story before? Like, if you really look, who's working at the greeters at Walmart these days?
Older people, yeah.
That's right.
Older
Because they didn't have the right retirement plan, right? They even work in the cashiers and stuff, right? So that was her situation. But look over here. She was able to pull out $50,000 a year in her custom lifestyle and did it all the way through her 80s. She died somewhere in her mid-80s, right? And used up 2/3 of that money. So she was living really well, right? Pretty good. And she still left behind $1.3 million in her estate. That's a big difference, y'all. $700,000 difference, plus she left behind $1.3 million. What happened to Sister A? The shareholders of the bank invested the money in the time to start the business. Thus, profits earned by the bank went to the shareholders, not Sister A. Over here, with the private family banking method, as the contract holder, Sister B invested the time and the money to start the business. So profits was earned by her as a contract holder in the form of dividends. You can give me your attention up here. No dividends was earned by her because she wasn't a partner.
So the shareholders got it.
And she had to get taxed because of capital gain taxes. So that was 141 in interest because they deducted the taxes. Uncle Sam was going to get his if you let him, right? And over there, she earned dividends and she didn't have to pay 1 penny in taxes. Not 1 penny in taxes.
Because why?
Because
That was a private family banking.
private family banking.
Correct.
This institution precedes income tax. Income tax law came out in 1913. These kind of accounts been around for almost 200 years. Been around. It's practical, but it ain't being shared with us. Right?
Man.
So the velocity of money, how is it happening right now? Right now, the banks are velocitizing our money. This is what they do. They're the one collecting and scooping up that money coming out that bucket, our transferred money. They then build their savings with our money. And then they take and lend that money out to somebody else, right? It blew me away to learn that the banks don't lend their money to nobody. They lend the depositors money.
Yeah.
That's who money goes out in credit card money, in car notes and mortgages. They use the Federal Reserve's money. They don't use their money, right? And then when they lend that money out, they collect it with interest and they build their wealth. Now listen to what I just said. They're making all that money. Is any of that money theirs to even make from?
No.
They make all that
Here's the
money,
word for that. It's called arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
To be able to make money from somebody else's money and you get the gains. That's what the banks are doing. It's modern day gangster stuff to me. When you really understand it,
That's what it is.
right? So here we go. This is what we can do. Along with Core Financial, we can help you find your wealth transfers, money leaking out your bucket. Use your transfers to build your savings. Because when we find it, you save it, right? And then borrow from your savings to make your own major capital purchases. Be your own banker. And pay the interest back to who? You.
Yeah.
Exactly. By learning this cycle, you can create the velocity of your money. This is what it looks like, y'all. This is your account here, and you're growing it, whatever amount. Let's say your sister B put in $5,000 a year or $400 a month, whatever it might be. $100 a week. I like to break it down weekly. $100 a week. If you make $1,000, put 100 in, right? A week, right? Whatever it is, right? 10%. If you want to buy something, you got 40,000 over here, and you want to buy a car for 10 grand, how much that leaves you in your account?
30.
30. So how much is earning interest in this account then?
30.
Exactly. So how much you have lost opportunity cost on? 10.
10, yeah.
You spent 10, so it's not earning you any more money. You got a depreciated vehicle now. That's most Americans. That's most people. But not with private family banking. We've come in to show people how to partner with a financial institution, and they say, look, let's put it and collateralize it, put a lien on your 10, but we're going to allow the whole 40 stay there. We're going to give you our 10, go buy your car and enjoy your car. Pay us back at your pace when you want to pay us back, but we make sure everybody does it their own amortization schedule because you don't want to be a dishonest banker of your own self, right? If you're going to pay them, you better pay yourself too, right?
That's right.
And then guess what? You can now have your whole 40 growing there for years to come. The people that understand this and set this up never touch their money. They always use that money and take their way of paying it back and pay it back, but the whole time that money's compounding every year for years to come. That's private family banking.
So you can borrow if you take out against it a loan against. Say you have 40,000, you borrow 10,000. You can still do what you need to do with that 10,000, but you never touch your money. Your money is still the whole amount. The whole amount is still
your whole
growing.
$40,000 is still there growing.
while you still was able to do what you need to do.
Exactly.
And then you're paying yourself back with interest.
The key to wealth
Wow.
is uninterrupted compounding.
I
Most
got
people
you.
that have money growing in big, in nice amount of money growing in accounts, they pull it out. They have not embraced the value and the power of compound interest. Remember, Albert Einstein is his greatest accomplishment. And that's what we make sure we get that across. That is so important because I didn't even value it and understand it like I do now. This is the account that this is being done in, and if it is being done in any account, it has to have all of these benefits to make it a private family bank. I'm going to go through only the green ones, but you get all of these. The first one you get is credit lawsuit proof. Nobody can touch this money and sue you and try to get your money from you. Even creditors can't touch this money. And what's best about it, right? Do you appreciate this, Tamika? It can't be seen by the government. If somebody wants financial aid, they qualify for more of it because Uncle Sam can't see it neither. Where people have their money in 401ks and IRAs and mutual funds, they see it, they account for it. And they say, okay, you do pretty well. You saved pretty well. We're going to give you only this much. But all of your money, because wealthy people, this is where all of them warehouse all of their money. Then they go invest it. You follow me? Because it's hidden from the government in creditors. Okay? Next thing is withdrawal tax-free. You can pull it out. You don't really pull it out. You borrow it out. You never touch it because you never want to stop compounding.
Right.
If you do that, you cannot tax a loan. That's why they use a loan as giving you your money. Y'all follow? And guaranteed loan options. This is powerful here. No matter what your credit score is or what your working history is, because you know the banks won't give you any money if you can't prove that you're worthy of paying them back and that you don't have a job and your credit score is down. They won't give you a dime. Here, none of that matters. You partner with them. You got a certificate with them as a partner, and the amount you have in here is up to the amount you can borrow with no problem. If you have $2 million in there, they'll lend you $2 million. Next one is unstructured loan payments. This is my favorite one. You borrow $10,000. What do the banker normally do when you get a loan from them? What comes in the mail like the next week?
Your payment.
Your payment. It's called an amortization schedule. This is what you're going to pay us this month, next year, and we're going to do this in 48 months. You decide how you pay this account back. You decide how often and how much. You say, look, my business is slow right now, so this month, I don't even want to pay. You have that choice. Or this month, instead of sending 100, you want to send 10. You have total control of how much and how often. Okay? Then you also have collateral opportunity. We went over what collateral means. They'll put a lien on that amount. Now, if you have 40,000 there and you take 10 out, your collateral capacity now is 30. Meaning you still can go get some more, but you only can get up to 30. Y'all follow that? That's called collateral capacity. Then when you pay that first 10 down, the more you pay down on an amortization schedule that you created for yourself, the more is available.
Right.
Okay? Then disability vision, we can add disability there because a lot of people need that in case they get into a serious situation and they live through it. So that's available. Offer liquidity, user control, guaranteed returns. This is my second favorite. If not tied with the first one. Guaranteed returns mean because it's not attached to Wall Street, they guarantee you never for your account to go below 4% rate of return. Do you know people that do security, like they are financial planners and advisors, have their Series 63, they can't even think guaranteed in their mind, or they would get sanctioned. Because they know it's all volatility on the market. It's all flexible. It's all speculation. Here is guaranteed. Guaranteed. I can show somebody a performance of their account in 50 years from now, and it's all guaranteed. By how much they want to accumulate. They want to contribute monthly or annually.
Wow.
And the last thing is banking on purposes allowed. Now let's look at the different institutions that people try to guess. Is this, is that, do you do it in a CD account? No, let's look at the options here and see how they fare with all these benefits. Because remember, I only went through the green. You can read the rest of them, you get all this, right? What about a qualified plan? Can a qualified plan stand up to being able to do all what we need?
Nope.
No, because they only give you 3 benefits there. Y'all see that? The rest of them in red. And Tamika, you look at people's financials. Thousands and thousands of people are pouring money into a qualified plan. A qualified plan is 401k, thrift account, RAs, a Roth. All these are qualified plans, right? Thousands of people are doing this. Tens and millions of people are pouring money into it and don't have a clue that this is available. Because if they did, why would they do that? What about real estate? Much as I love real estate and real estate investing is in my near future, some of you are real estate investors already. Love real estate, but it's not set up for a private family bank. Y'all with me? There's only 2 benefits there. What we teach our clients is to build the private family bank and buy real estate as an investor, right? But is it a place to warehouse your money?
Nope.
No. Because what do you have to do to get your money out of a house?
Gotta sell it.
You got to sell it, or you got to qualify for it. Or you got to qualify for it. I'll tell you a story real quick of a friend of mine. She paid off 3 houses, right? And she went into retirement. And she went to liquidate those houses, like a HELOC, right? You know she couldn't get a dime out of none of them? Because when you have equity in a house, they don't give you money towards the ownership of the house. They give you money against your income, period. It doesn't matter how much you got. If you don't have money coming in regularly that they can account for, because even though if you get a HELOC, which a HELOC is the second one, the next one right here. A HELOC, for those that might not know what that is a home equity line of credit, right? So if you got that much equity in the house, they give you like a credit card. You can use it like back and forth, right? The thing about that though, if you don't have a job, even though you own that house, you can own several of them, they're not going to give you a dime. You have to show some kind of income, rental income or something. And she couldn't show no income. She actually had to go back to work to start liquidating that money that was in her real estate properties.
Wow.
Once again, banking is a concept. It's not a building. Wells Fargo has the concept and they just opened up a building because they got the concept, right? And here's the definition of private family banking. It's a pool of capital that can flow at a cost to meet some need. So all those interest costs that you was giving away to the banks, now you can put it into your bank and still get the car, still go on vacation, still take care of your kids, still do all the things that we do. You creating a central bank for you and your family. If you look up the Rothschilds, the Rothschilds created the first family bank 200 years ago, and that's why they don't even talk about their money, because they're worth more than anybody could ever imagine. The last day they reported it, the Rothschilds are worth anywhere from $5 trillion to $100 trillion. And they created a family bank that they still operate to this day. Okay? Here's banking real quick, and then we got 2 slides, a couple slides we're done. This is banking. Banking is if you had $1,000 and you put it under your mattress.
Correct.
Right? And you said, look, I need $200. The kid needs some shoes, right? The kid, or I need to go, I need to do something, I need $200, this $200 have to buy this, that, or the other, right? And you go get $200 from under your mattress. Hello, ladies. Hi. You get the $200 from under your mattress, right? Remember, you actually got a loan to get your $200 because this banking, right? So you get your $200 under the mattress that you have $1,000. That leaves you how much? $800, right? Now we said we're gonna put ourselves back on a 4-month payment plan to pay myself back because I'm financing my own bank under my mattress. So to pay back $200 in 4 months, how much are you paying back per month? $50, right? Follow me on this. We're not banking yet because you just replaced your money. That's all you did. Banking is you're going to say I'm going to charge myself 10% for borrowing my money, right? So you put back 10% of 200. In addition to the 200, you put back the principal. So that's $220 you owe yourself. Don't stay with me on this one. So you put yourself on a payment plan to pay back $55 times 4 months. Now you paid yourself back. Now you're banking on your own means through your own mattress. That's banking. Banking, once again, none of it's going to make sense. It's a pool of capital that can flow at a cost to meet some need. It's a cost to flow for you to use it and put it back to meet some need, which you needed the $200 to buy yourself some shoes. Y'all with me? With private family banking, with the institution you're connected with, you're doing the exact same thing. Remember Sister A and Sister B, They borrow money to buy a car, and they pay themselves back plus a 10% interest. So keep that in mind. Whenever you borrow money out of your private family bank, never put it back only what you use. That's the principle. You have to make good on the fact that you finance yourself. So here's an example. If you borrow $10,000 and you said I'm going to charge myself 10%, over 10 months I'm going to pay it back $100 a month. You pay back $110 a month, and you done paid yourself 10% interest. Does it hurt us to pay back 110 versus 100? That doesn't hurt, does it? That's banking, y'all.
I would rather do it still my money.
Exactly. It's
You
your
still
money.
building your capital.
And check this out, Tamika. Remember the rule of 72, right? If you pay yourself back 10% interest on top of the interest your account is already getting, you just made your money double faster. Y'all follow that? That's why I say, I ain't going through all that today. I just wanted to make you aware that this is here. That's when you become a client. We show you how to maximize these type of accounts.
He done made me cancel Wells Fargo. I'm about to call my bank and I'm done. Give me all my money out of there.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
crazy.
look, you sound like I did. All right, let's go. Okay, so how's private family? So who's private banking ideal for? It's for people with heavy consumer debt. That's a lot of people, right? Some of us. People concerned about funding their retirement. People concerned about funding college for their kids, right? And maximize financial aid. Remember I said, government can't see it, so you can get all the financial aid you deserve as a taxpayer, right? And investors and commissioned self-employed people. Private family bank is perfect for them, right? And then people who want financial security, freedom and control. When you really think about it, it covers everybody. It covers everybody. Once you understand how money works and how banks work, and how you can have your own, why would you do it any other way? Right? So we focus on, when we work with our clients, on first educating them. What is opportunity cost? How does the rule of 72 apply in my life? Right? All those concepts we go over, and we go over and over again, because I want you to be able to regurgitate to your kids and to your family, right? They need to know this, right? Efficiency, finding money that's one out that bucket that we want to recapture and bring it back to you. Third thing, savings. If we find it, will you save it? Fourth thing, velocity. Create your bank. Bank through yourself, finance all your stuff, and stop using banks. Right? And the last but not least, assets. Once we get that money built up, and remember, you had no interruption, and it's building up. You got $40,000, $50,000 in here. Go buy yourself some properties. Right, Randy? Go buy yourself some businesses that's going to pay you without you going to work for it. That's the end game. See, this is what America is telling us, y'all. Build your money up in these accounts on Wall Street and let it accumulate, right? Right? And hope that it doesn't crash. What does that sound like to us? That's modern day gambling to me. Hoping that it doesn't crash. When you can take that money and put it in a safe, hard place like this, remember, we guarantee you 4% or higher, plus dividends, right? And when you get enough to buy your first property, you buy your first property. Then you spend that into a second property. We also have a goal to get 1 or 2 properties a year. This is what we do with all of our clients. There's 4 asset classes that we show them what to do with their money. See, most people that are listening to everybody else that's supposed to be financial planners and advisors, this is what they're telling everybody. Put your money here and let us manage it. And we bear hope that the market don't crash. That's most of America, right? This is what, and then they tell you they diversify your money. They're gonna have some over here in stocks and bonds, some over here in mutual funds. That is please. When Wall Street crashed, they all being affected. Period. Right? Man. So what we believe in cash flow, not accumulation. You see that game right there, cash flow concept? Yeah. That's what we do. We play this with our clients, we play with our partners, we play with our family, because it teaches you how to buy assets. These are the 4 asset classes. If I were you, I would type this in your phone if you don't have a pad. Know the 4 asset classes so you know how to diversify. Because most people learn to diversify under one class, and that class is subject to the same failures and successes. Right? Here they are. Number 1 asset class, or the first asset class, I can say the number 1, is paper. Paper is the first asset class. Paper is anything I just went over. Wall Street. Anything attached to Wall Street is paper. CDs, savings accounts. 401ks, anything under qualified plans, mutual funds, all these are paper, right? Even trading is paper. Even though I love trading, you have control because there's a difference between two types of investors. There's a passive investor and there's an active investor. The passive investor, they're the ones that give somebody their money and hopefully they do right by their money. An active investor say, look, I see the market, I see what's going. I'm getting in front of this, right? So that's all paper. Second type of asset class, real estate. Real estate, which is my favorite one.
Mine.
Yep. It's an asset class, y'all. You can build wealth through it. There's so many millionaires out of real estate, y'all. It is, you know what? It's all around us, right? So we have to learn how to put our money, build it up first, and then get the smarts, and let's get into some real estate, right? Here's the third one. Businesses. Businesses. Now, businesses come in all variations, right? I've been involved in from home-based business to traditional business, right? So businesses allow you to also put yourself in a position to have tax write-offs and deductions. Every dollar saved is a dollar made. Lost opportunity cost, right, Jimmy? So let's make sure that we see businesses it's one of the diversified things in our portfolio. Here's the fourth one: commodities. Commodities is gold, silver, precious metal, which is all precious metals, and other things out there as well. That's diversity, because right now LaToya and I are studying gold, because gold, I don't know if y'all know, Donald Trump is about to put our dollar back on the gold standard. Do you know what that means? I'm about to go crazy buying gold. Seriously. So you make your money and you build your private family bank to invest it in one of these four asset classes. Not leave it somewhere and hope and pray that by the time you're 60, 65, that the market don't crash and take all your money. Who does that? Wealthy people don't do that. You read about any wealthy person that really understands money, they ain't going to say that. They're going to say, do one of these four things with your money. That's what they're going to say. And that's what we teach our clients. We teach them. We learn enough to aim them in the right direction. We partner with people that are good in these different things. One of my partners, he couldn't come today. He was about to come today. And he owns 600 different properties right now. Yeah. 600 different ones. He owns 300 of them are complexes. The other 3 are single units. Mm-hmm. He's done 2 seminars. As we sitting here like this today, he's done 2 of these in my house already. To teach our clients and some of my business partners how he's done it, and he's willing to do that. He's not even trying to ask for anything from anybody. He's so well off that he's trying to get back.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's major. I mean, from being in real estate, you can take classes that you might spend $20,000-$30,000 to even learn this information. I mean, they have some lower, in ones as well. Coaching. I'm not saying that they're bad. Right. I'm just to the point that this gentleman is coming. Yep. And and
he has a system that you can be a part of.
That's major.
It's a turnkey system.
That's major.
Literally, you just got to have the upfront money.
Yeah, just to make the
investment.
investment.
He runs everything. He has a property management company.
Manage everything.
They do everything. All you're doing is collecting a check. You don't have to know anything about real estate. Wow. And he has a system for you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, y'all in the know now. Y'all in the know
now.
But seriously, these are the things that we're against the green, though, y'all. We're against what popular information is giving us, y'all. But because it's all trash. Mm-hmm. It's all not real. It's an illusion to everybody. It's the truth. It's the truth. So, like I said, y'all see my passion. What is passion again? It's anger and love mixed together. That's what it is. That's what it is, right? Anger and love. I love what I do, but I hate the way we've been treated. You know what I'm saying? So now we're here to get it out to as many people as possible. And what's the next step? If you see value in what we do, complete a party plan review. I'm going to ask you just to do a questionnaire today, y'all, just to tell me how this was for you. And then if you decide you put in there, check off that you do want to do a complimentary consultation with us, and we'll see how we can help you out. Give us your objectives and your goals, and I'm listening. And how can I help you, right? And the next after that is schedule a next appointment for us to sit down individually with you and watch a few short videos that I have. Y'all saw me in the beginning. I have an archive of videos that go over private family banking, right? And about how money works. This is what I studied in the last 5-6 years. This is all I've been doing. I spend 2 to 3 hours a day trying to get better every day to help everybody I come across, right? Because the one thing what I was afraid of when I first got started is I never want to mess somebody's money up, or not be factual about my information.
That's how public taxes
Yes.
people's
Yeah, I'm very sensitive because I was really like in the beginning. My mentor would actually help me solve for everybody, like to find the holes in people's financials and going out the bucket. He had to help me the first couple months because I didn't want to mess it up. And then he watched me do it. He said, "You do it." Why? And I tell you, and you tell me. And he let me know if I did anything wrong. And then by the time a few times, I got it. I knew exactly how to help people find money they was losing unknowingly, unnecessarily. Right? So we'll do that for you as well. And that was it. So those 3 steps, watch the videos, and that'll help you out. What we do is send these videos out periodically to people that's a part of our send out, what do you call it, email blasts and things of that nature. Because we have to keep learning financially. We can't be like this and feel like, okay, and trust somebody else. I didn't want people to trust me with their money like that. I want you to be smart enough and gotten enough information to know how to keep growing with that as well, right? How do we start off? What is our philosophy? We're done after this. Our philosophy at Core Financial Partners is more money doesn't get you or keep you out of a financial situation. Only financial education does. So if I do it all for you, then it's not going to be as impactful to you. Because I want you to be able to say, my kids are going to learn this because I'm going to make sure, right? My family's going to learn this. We're going to do a reception like this. Because by the way, I do these kind of receptions at people's homes all the time. I just did one Wednesday in Morgantown for Pastor Jonathan.
Right. Yeah.
Right? He had a dozen people over there. I already have 5 appointments next week for some of those people. The next day they was like, let's do it. I'm ready. You with me? So this is our mission is to get this out to as many people as possible. Okay? It ain't about money for me. I can make money in several different industries. I've had already in the past. I'm being very humble in saying that. I'm not trying to be arrogant. Right? I'm just saying this is when I saw this and I understood this, in the years I took to really get my confidence to be out there sharing this, right? This is my purpose. I've learned that this is my purpose, right? I add some stuff on, I do trading and things of that nature, but this is what I do in my sleep. You with me? Mm-hmm. So anybody that needs to talk to me or talk to us, our Core Financial Partners, and we miss the training people right now, because this message is only me and my mentor I told you about, and my wife. In the whole Tri-State area, I don't know anybody that knows this like we do. In the whole New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, it's only a couple of us, especially that look like us. He looked like us, okay? So I'm in the midst of training people right now. Matter of fact, Kelly and Roger Jarman are being trained to do this with me as well, right? Because I need more people out there sharing this story, sharing this information. So, whatever way you can play a part in getting this information from you to other people, let me know. I would definitely love to do that. It's no charge for doing any of this stuff.